it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Sorry I am late. I got caught up with a technical difficulty. Welcome back to my channel. We did a get ready with me, took the afternoon off, just got done finishing cookies, making cookies for my husband. And now we're gonna talk about Olivia Jade, Miss Lori Loughlin's daughter, who has made a triumphant or maybe untriumphant return to Twitter. Or not to Twitter, to YouTube. That's right. The girl whose parents fraudulently got her into school, allegedly, by giving bribes of more than $500,000, and she pretended to be a crew member, came back to Twitter, or to YouTube, I'm sorry. In her 2-minute video, she literally said absolutely nothing. She couldn't talk about anything legal. She couldn't say anything. Anything at all. Let me show you a minute of what we have here.
I wish I could talk about all of this. It's really hard for me to say this just because I know that it's something that needs to be addressed. It's just unfortunately, which is also why I didn't know exactly when I should come back to YouTube. But the reason for that is just because I'm legally not allowed to speak on anything going on right now. A part of me is like, should I come back to YouTube right now? Because it's been so long and I actually really miss it. Like, I genuinely miss filming. I feel like a huge part of...
All right, she can't say anything. And then she talked for like 2 more minutes where she couldn't say anything at all. So she can't say anything legally, and she can't even make eye contact with the camera. I mean, she's sort of like... And she wants to come back to YouTube. She has 1.93 million subscribers. The video has more than 500,000 views the last time I checked. And I'm not sure why she's coming back, to be honest. When I was actually looking through some of the comments on YouTube, people were like literally not impressed with her return. People were sort of like irritated that she's coming back because if you remember, she is, she got into USC under the pretense that she was on a crew team, and she probably took somebody's legitimate spot attending the school, all that good stuff because, life. So I grabbed some screenshots of here is what I've got here. So it says, anyone else feel bad for the hardworking students who missed out on a spot, instead given to someone who is undeserving, and still unapologetic? And then others said, is it weird that someone wants to come back online and talk about hair and makeup when their mother is facing like 90 years in prison? Wow, I never thought she would ever come back. Why does it sound like she's the victim here? You could start by apologizing first. So is this sympathy video, or is it I'm going to try to work for a new endorsement deal because I lost all my endorsements? Yikes. And the video was filled with hundreds of these sort of comments. Like, so many people were not happy with her return. Now, in fairness, I will correct something. Her parents are not facing like 90 years in prison. Lori and Massimo are actually facing around 40 years in prison. Now, it's unlikely that they will go to prison for 40 years, but the two of them have been part of a group of parents that refuses under any pretense or any circumstance admit their flaw, their fault, what they did. And I was actually just reading on an outlet, Mercury News, stating that with Lori and Massimo potentially going to trial, they have not accepted a plea deal. And when they didn't accept a plea deal, prosecutors added another charge, another indictment, which added more and more years for them to potentially go to prison. But if they go to trial, they are going to potentially open up the girls to maybe actually getting held criminally liable for their choice to give over $500,000 in bribes to this guy who set up a fraudulent nonprofit and funneled money and allowed her to get into the school under the pretense that she was a crew member and going to be on an athletic team. There's reason to believe that the girls went along with the scam because both of them knew that they weren't crew members, and their parents actually made, according to the evidence obtained through, I'll just give you a little blip of what it says. So according to this, Massimo, he sent a note to his accountant directing an employee to send $200,000 to Singer's nonprofit. And then he allegedly set up the nonprofit to hide the bribes he received from the parents. And he looked for ways to facilitate the children's admissions to top schools. They created a false profile, a false athletic profile, which they used to show that she was on the crew. Not only that, her counselor, her guidance counselor at high school, failed to actually do anything to stop this when they saw the application. So they saw the application that she was going to apply to USC as a crew member, but she had never actually been on a crew team. She was not athletic. And the guidance counselor didn't put a flag up and say, hey, why are you doing this? You're not on a crew. So she and her sister were able to get into USC under this scam. And here we are today, where she is now has parents facing 40 years in prison. Mom and dad have been pretty hell-bent that they are not going to go down without a fight. Aunt Becky lost her job on Fuller House. I mean, come on now, you guys. Aunt Becky was supposed to be like good. She was supposed to be like the aunt that was wholesome. She wasn't supposed to be the aunt that was like sliding like $200,000 cash to people to get her kids into USC. And Olivia on her YouTube channel has not, prior to getting into college, was like, nah, I don't know if I really want to go to college. I don't really know if I'm into academics or not. Maybe I'm just like kind of into like the partying and the football games. So she gets into this college, by the way. She wasn't the most stellar academic performer, and she took spots away from people that would have rightfully been able to get into the school. USC is a very competitive school. It is an elite college in California and a premier college for many people. And so theoretically, by her parents bribing those people, allegedly, she would be ultimately taking spots away from people that worked so hard to get into the school. But Olivia was like, I missed YouTube, so I need to make a video, and I'm just gonna say I can't talk about it. So whether or not the parents deserve to serve like 40 years, it doesn't feel like it's that big of a crime. I mean, I do understand they want to make an example of these people, but I kind of feel like Olivia is in a rock and a hard place. Maybe she just felt like she had to go along with her parents, but with her parents going into trial, and if more and more evidence becomes clear that she went along with this, I mean, she and her sister could theoretically end up getting criminal charges as well, which means that her coming back to YouTube actually seems like a really bad idea, because if she does slip and say anything, that could potentially end up getting her in trouble. It makes no sense to me. I mean, I can understand wanting to sort of get back to like life and feeling like you're doing something, but at the same time, people are, still really outraged by the fact that the crime that was committed and what she did and how she got into the school, for a lot of people, especially people that can't afford to go to college or needed scholarships or, maybe applied and weren't accepted because she was admitted, a lot of people are naturally angry. And Felicity Huffman, she got a sweetheart deal. I mean, her money, she didn't spend nearly as much. She spent around $15,000, and she spent like 14 days in federal prison. But, Lori and Massimo, they spent like $500,000, and they're facing a lot of time, and this is not good news. So I would say, Olivia, you should probably just get off of YouTube. Don't say anything else. Instead of trying to make revenue and get endorsements by being on YouTube, devote your time and working with people that maybe are less fortunate. Humble yourself, perhaps. Do something for yourself that isn't involved with being in the spotlight. At this point in time, I don't think anything she says or does is going to make anyone happy. I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh, Olivia, thank God you're back. I'm so glad to see you. Can you please make some makeup tutorial videos? Can you please do a video about like your clothing and what you're going to do for your hair? All right, so we'll see what's going to go on. I know the kids did fake rowing pictures. Absolutely. They had so many. She was so much a part of this scam, and she knew she wasn't on the row team. So this is just like, Olivia, nobody's fooled. And I don't think a lot of people on YouTube were impressed. So my guess is just don't watch the video. Don't support it. Well, no, I can't tell you to do that. You should. Maybe you could. I don't know. What do you think? Would you watch it? She can't say anything. Do you care? Are you outraged? Are you mad like half of YouTube is right now? And literally all of Twitter? All right, you guys. I'd love to hear more from you. Comment below. I'll see you in a little while. Bye.